What is the punishment for adultery in Saudi Arabia? Adultery and homosexuality are illegal in Saudi Arabia, and its punishment is very hard in Islam as well as Saudi laws. The punishment of adultery in Saudi Arabia varies according to the marital status of the person who has committed it. Adultery committed by a married person. If a married person commits adultery in Saudi Arabia, he or she is to be stoned to death. However, there are some exceptions to this punishment which have been explained below. The punishment for rape by a married person is also the same. Adultery committed by an unmarried person. If an unmarried person commits adultery in Saudi Arabia, he or she will be lashed 100 times irrespective of gender. Quran. The punishment of adultery for unmarried persons is lower than the married people because unmarried people do not have lawful means to satisfy their sexual needs. This is another reason Islam preaches Muslims to marry their children at an early age. If they are married, there are fewer chances of being involved in such kind of activities. Punishment for homosexuality in Saudi Arabia. Just like adultery, homosexuality is also a very strong sin in Saudi Arabia and is punishable with 5 years of jail and an Saudi riyal 3 million fine. However, if it is done with force, the punishment is the death penalty. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Whomever you find doing the actions of the people of Lut, then kill the one doing it, and the one it is done." Prophet Muhammad said, "Who do the action of the people of Lut, stone the upper and the lower, stone them both to death." Offenders excluded from death penalty. Pregnant women are excluded to be penalized to death. The reason for imposing this law is that the execution of a pregnant woman will result in the execution of 2 lives, including the life of an unborn child who has not committed any offense. Women with small children are excluded to be penalized to death. A woman commits adultery in Saudi Arabia, she will not be penalized unless her child becomes 2 years old. Medical science has proved that in the first 2 years, the milk of a mother is the best diet for any child. Mentally sick people are also excluded from the penalty of death. A person who does not have a mental awareness of the consequences of his acts is not criminally responsible beyond the payment of compensation. Minor cannot be given a penalty of death. He cannot be executed for the crimes he has committed during the time when he or she was a minor.